turn you guys on. Oh, you are on, I think. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another reaction of us. This time, hopefully smoother. We're going to be reacting to Geoff Keighley's big news announcement. It seems like the hype is as palpable as ever, more than E3, some would say. Because today is the most important Wednesday of the summer. It is the most, what else is he even saying? The most important Wednesday, big day for gaming news, big day for PlayStation, big day for lots of things. So, Kevin, as the host of PlayStation Source's Safe Slot,
indeed,
what do you think is possible today in the realm of PlayStation?
Okay. I think we really gotta now, even though, right, like the was already up, right, before yesterday, right? Like we knew stuff was going down now, but over the course of the Tuesday that we just had, things just escalated a lot, right? Like that's not happening, right? I just don't know, like, how big we're talking. If we're talking about, like, do you got? I mean, would Sony and PlayStation give Keighley like Horizon 2, for example, to unveil? Like,
I don't think so.
The like premiere first, yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? Like, wouldn't they want that on stage at PS5 reveal? So like that's why I'm like, I don't know if it's that, honestly. Like, I could see, like, I could maybe see something like around the same realm, but not the tier of like a Horizon 2. Like I could see like the reported Ratchet and Clank sequel that Insomniac's working on. You know what I'm saying? Like I could see something like that. I could see, I don't know. I mean, you have a great point. So like I don't want to, you know, take, but that one's also really a really good point as well. Or like really good theory.
Yeah, we do have a fair amount of time before this kicks off, so we will get to theories. But
Yeah, for sure.
Jack, in response to what Kevin just said, do you think something like a Ratchet would fulfill that claim of the biggest Wednesday of the summer, biggest day in gaming? Do you think something on that level, some of the other things Kevin said, do you think that would live up? After yesterday, he set expectations so well.
Right, the expectations are incredibly high, and I'm not sure if Ratchet or even Horizon could meet that. When you say like the highest level of expectations, Kevin and I were talking off stream about this. In a summer where Batman and probably Harry Potter are surely set to be announced, because Jason Schreier basically confirmed that about WB's E3 appearance that was supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if Horizon is on that level yet. I think maybe a Horizon 3 in the future would be on that sort of level, but as a franchise, I don't think it's quite there yet, since it's only at that one game. Same with Ratchet. Honestly, I wonder, is this an hour-long stream, or is this, do we know the
hour-long?
The number I've seen specifically is 1 hour 8 minutes.
Okay, so I think a combination of a bunch of games from Sony's first party could do that. I think if they came out and talked about like 5 new games, it's 5. I think that'd be crazy. Would that be that might be a little strange to announce first party games for a console we haven't even seen yet.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that is really possible. But honestly, I think Geoff Keighley has set incredibly high expectations, and I'm interested at the very least to see what he meant by that.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the way he's been setting expectations so far has been really good, and today does seem like he's unleashing the beast. So I do have to wonder, like, is it something that's a big deal to him? Is this similar to how Game Awards, I think 2 years ago, when Reggie, Phil, and Sean all came together, he kept talking up the intro to the show. He's like, this is something that's never happened before. Crazy news, crazy big thing. And while that was true, while it was something we never saw before, it was a little like maybe misdelivered, because you go into a show like that, you expect a game announcement, but instead you get this cool celebration. So, like, do you think today, with that in mind, we do get something that Keighley understands is a big deal for the greater fandom, or is it something that is personal to him?
I I think I think overall as a community, like, this is gonna be hype. I mean, that's how I think. Because, well, I mean, I don't know if it like, because I'm trying to think of like an example of like a time like he has projected like a hype level, but it was gauged on a personal parameter as opposed to like an industry wide parameter.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I can't think of an exact example, but I feel like him like wanting to do Summer Games Fest and trying to kick it off and everything. Like, I feel like he definitely wouldn't want to set these expectations so high and it to be just like a personal thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I mean, maybe, right? Like, maybe this is just like something that's super niche or whatever that we're about to see, but I just don't know if like him knowing the culture and like knowing how people react to certain things, and when expectations get put up and met or failed, how bad that repercussions are. I feel like he's talking from like an overall standpoint, like from a player base and everything, but we'll have to see. We'll definitely have to see.
Also, it seems like right now this is a bigger moment than game is very much Geoff Keighley's baby, right? This summer is essentially a de facto replacement for E3. So we're expecting like those level of announcements, and I feel like he will hopefully deliver on that. And I think his messaging is in line with what people expect from an E3.
Yeah, I think he understands the weight of it all. I think him getting out last week and saying Tuesday's announcement wasn't Batman is kind of evidence of that, of really wanting to make sure. So I don't think he would do something like this or talk it up like this much without realizing what it could do to speculation. So, Speaking of, why don't we speculate for a little bit? So the one thing I want to put out there is that I think it is Blue Point's game, and I think the game is Metal Gear. Because
let's go.
Let's do it. It's a very bold claim.
We've seen there was that GameStop of Italy tweet. They were like returning to one of the worlds of PlayStation, something to that effect. We know that Keighley and Kojima are tight. So if this is something is like personal to him, it's like, hey, I'm getting to interview Kojima about what it's like to return to the original Metal Gear after all that trauma went down. And I think they could go an avenue of either Metal Gear Solid or remaking the NES Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2, which bridged the gap between 5 and the original Solid. So
a huge gap from the old MSX NES games, which if you convert that into a PS5 game, night and day, not even distinguishable, which I think would be crazier than Metal Gear Solid 1 being remastered, but MGS 1 being remastered just ties into the
man. Okay, so how willing are you to? Okay, let's say you had $20K right now, just sitting, just chilling, right? How much of that cut are you putting down on Metal Gear Remake? But can you hear me? Oh, you can hear me. Oh my god. Hello.
Technical
Can you
issues
guys hear
again.
me?
Hold on.
Gotcha. Okay, bet.
Trying to sort this out real
I-
quick.
I'm gonna while I'm still doing this. All right, we should be live once again. I think you might need to like hit live on the YouTube thing.
It is still going on YouTube.
Oh, well,
I'm
can
on
you
we're live,
Geoff's,
we're live.
can you see the
Hello,
footage
I'm
though?
Brian Karras, technical director of graphics
yeah.
here at
Okay,
Epic
perfect.
Games.
Hi, I'm Jerome Plateau, art director of the special
Just
project.
trim up the.
A few years ago, we
yeah.
got together as a team and brainstormed where we thought we could push forward the state-of-the-art in real-time graphics. There were two key areas that stood out.
Okay, I think we're
First,
solid.
dynamic global illumination. Beautiful bounce lighting instantaneously.
I don't have to be constrained to do a game where the world has to be static.
Here we
And
go,
I'm able
Epic.
to iterate a lot faster.
And we call this new system Lumen. We're about to show you what it is capable of. But first, there was another area that we thought we could push forward. Truly virtualized geometry. The artist wouldn't have to be concerned over poly counts, draw calls, or memory. We could directly use film quality assets and bring them straight into the engine.
And that's a big deal for artists. I just want to be able to import my ZBrush model, my photogrammetry scan, my CAD data, without wasting any time optimizing, creating LODs, or even lowering the quality to make it hit frame rate.
In the end, that's what it's all about. Art that just works. And we call this new technology Nanite. Here is the future of Unreal Engine running live on a PlayStation 5.
Awesome, let's take a look at it.
This has to be the right way.
So this is just an engine though, right? Not like.
Yo, that lighting on that rock looks crazy though.
Yeah, that's
Holy,
wild.
yo, this looks super impressive.
Before we continue,
Honestly,
let's
did not
stop a moment
consider
and take a look at some of the key
an
features of
engine
this demo.
announcement.
Much of what you see was built with Quixel Megascan assets, but instead of using the game versions, we used the cinematic versions, which would typically only be used in film. There are around 1 million triangles each, and thanks to virtual texturing, they all use 8K textures as well. Nanite can render an insane number of triangles very quickly. There are over 1 billion triangles of source geometry in each frame that Nanite crunches down losslessly to around 20 million drawn triangles. What does that many triangles
So many
look
triangles.
like? This isn't
So
noise.
many triangles.
These are the triangles, each of
Look at all them, man.
All
Most
the
are
triangles.
so small that they look like noise. Nanite achieves detail down to the pixel, which means triangles are often the size of pixels. This amount of geometric detail requires shadows to be pixel accurate as well, and Nanite can do that too. Speaking of lighting, all of the lighting in this demo is completely dynamic. With the power of Lumen, that even includes multi-bounce global illumination. No light maps, no baking here. Without GI, all of that beautiful lighting is gone. With Lumen enabled, we can move the light and the bounce changes instantly. Okay, let's keep going. We've made some
So,
great additions
do you guys
to our
think this
audio
is a
system
gameplay,
as
or do you
well.
think it's like an engine?
Convolution reverb allows us to measure
I think it's a
reverberation
demo they
characteristics of real
made
spaces,
with this
actual
engine.
caves that we
Well, I
can
mean-
someone-
and reproduce them in virtual
Probably
Demo or
is
not,
played.
I do
Sound
want to
field
play
rendering
this.
allows us to record and play
Oh, yeah.
back spatialized
This looks
audio.
dope. This looks dope.
All of this adds up to a
Do we
more
think at the
immersive
end of this is a
experience.
reveal that this is actually some IP that's being revived?
I hope so. Oh, that's the loading screen. What happened? What happened to no more loading in next gen? What happened? Look at this. This is a long loading screen. What happened? Well, you hate to see it.
This swarm of bats was created with our Niagara effect
Batman
system.
confirmed.
Particles
This
in Niagara
looks-
can now
that's
talk
true.
to
This
one
looks
another and
Horizon-esque.
understand their environment
Like
never
the
before.
painting on the
Wait
wall.
a
and
minute.
the,
Wait a minute. Wait
They
a
wouldn't
minute.
leave.
It
They
kind of.
wouldn't leave Decima though.
We've also
Yeah,
added
that's-
a
They're too
ton
proud
new
of that thing.
functionality
That
to
is
run
true.
Fluid simulations
Right.
like you see in the
Oh
water.
yeah.
below.
Also, this is epic. I
Did-
don't know why they would do that.
This looks amazing, though. Honestly, this looks crazy.
If this
Cut
is
to
like a
reveal at the
third-party
end. Fortnite
standard-
is built on this. Third-party standard.
Third party
Demo runs
standard
on
for
our
next
chaos
gen though,
physics
like I'll
system.
be happy.
Here we
Yeah.
are using
Oh,
it
that
to
would be awesome.
accurately
This is
simulate
beautiful.
the rigid bodies of the falling rocks and the cloth of her scarf.
Christian, Prince of Persia, or Princess of Persia. Screw it. Let's get it. Why not?
Now that the environment is so complex, we've needed to greatly improve our animation systems to adapt. We've added predictive foot placement and motion warping, which dynamically modifies IK and body position to look more natural. For the character to more realistically interact with the environment, we've added the ability to trigger seamless contextual animation events, like her hand on the door.
Looks promising.
Not impressed.
Dynamic GI is amazing.
Nathan
not
Drake's
just
been doing
for
that
speeding
for
up
15
iterations,
years.
15
also
years.
for
That's a good
impact
point.
on gameplay.
That's a good point.
Not impressed.
Any light source can move while still having.
Okay, that's a really
But
cool
can Nathan
orb of
Drake
light
do
vision.
that?
Nathan Drake cannot
Dynamic
do that. That's
illumination
facts.
means specular as well, which you can see on all the metal surfaces. You can even see the Niagara-powered bugs reacting to the light.
The cup that Kratos drank out of with
Lumen
Atreus
not only reacts to
somewhere in
moving
that
light
room.
sources, but also changes in geometry.
definitely somewhere in there.
Remember we mentioned high poly assets? This statue was imported directly from ZBrush and is more than 33 million triangles. No baking of normal maps, no authored LODs.
Wow. I love triangles. The best shape.
Dude, shout out to man.
And we can do more
Triangles
than a
is
single
next
statue.
gen, bro.
There are nearly 500 of that exact statue at the same detail level placed in this room, for a total of over 16 billion triangles from statues alone.
Wow. Alright.
So many
Over this
triangles.
entire demo, there are hundreds of billions of triangles.
Epic is hundreds of billions of triangles. Epic flexing right now.
Put more triangles in your game, we dare you.
Dare you. I hope this is more than just a demo they made to show it
No,
off.
is I
With
feel like
Nanite, you have
sometimes
limitless geometry.
with tech
and
demos
with
like
Lumen,
these,
you have fully dynamic
they
lighting
never like
and global
follow
illumination,
through on a real game.
all running
Yeah.
on
Mhm.
PlayStation 5.
It's because they're taking a direction with the style, you know, it's not like photorealistic for the character.
Right.
I wish more games did that.
They're using the PlayStation interface for the interact buttons in this game, or in this demo at least.
Yeah. A lot of X's, a lot of triangles.
X's and triangles.
A
So
lot
many
of-
triangles.
A lot of triangles, you're right. So many triangles.
I've lost count at this point.
Too many, too many.
There's not much time left.
Well, on the screen right now
This
there's
doesn't need to be
10 million,
constrained
right?
to small rooms. You can stretch all the way to the horizon.
He said Horizon, guys.
The
Oh,
portal.
confirmed.
It's open. Don't fail me now.
Is she gonna?
That's-
Yo. Okay, wait. This looks sick.
Oh, that's dope. Honestly.
I want this to be a game for real though.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
This looks sick as hell. This looks dope.
Straight up flight.
If this was an IP, what would it be?
It's
though?
time to see what's next.
It's a new one.
She goes to Endgame from right there.
No, yeah, just
That looks wild.
Unreal Engine 5. Okay, that was dope. That was
Good
very
stuff, dude.
impressive. That was very, very impressive. Not even gonna lie.
There you
2021.
go. The Unreal Engine 5
So
is
now-
real, and that was the first
Like an hour of
real-time
games
footage
that are
of
using it,
something
right?
running on the PlayStation 5 as well.
I
Such
hope
a
so.
amazing day, I
I
think,
would
for
hope.
gamers to get a glimpse at where games are going next. And now it's my honor to be joined by three guys from Epic to talk a little bit about today's announcement. Of course, we've got Tim Sweeney, Kim LeBerry, and Nick Penwarden. Guys, thanks for joining me here virtually. This is a really big and exciting day. I mean, I think I just was so blown away when I saw this footage about what UE5 can do. And Tim,
I think the most impressive thing I saw from
special
this
moment for you to have,
that
put a 5
I forgot to
on
mention
this
was
Unreal Engine.
when she
the
was
first
in
time
that
you
really
showed me
dark
the original
environment
Unreal
and
Engine,
the
I think it
rocks
was
fell
like
from the ceiling
1996
and the
83,
spot
at
looking
Marriott Marina Del
lighting
Rey, and
of the
I was looking back
sun
last night at like the
came
old
through
Next Generation
in the
magazine
cave.
cover with.
I thought that looked
Can you
super
believe
impressive
this is
too.
what a PC
But-
screenshot of the
Absolutely,
original
yeah.
Unreal Engine? How
Yeah,
far we've
that
come.
demo was
Tell me, I mean,
insane. If that's
this
what
is a
next
big
gen
moment
is,
for
then
Epic, but
I'm in, baby.
what does this
I'm
mean
in.
to sort of the company right
In
now
there
to be
like
able to,
swimwear.
debut the first
Hell yeah.
PlayStation 5 footage, but also, introduce, a new numbered version
This
of
seems
Unreal?
like that's it though for today.
Well, this really is a generational
Yeah.
leap or more in technological capabilities.
You're not wrong. It does
and
kind of seem like that.
The
But
hardware that Sony is
still very impressive.
launching is absolutely
Oh, yeah.
phenomenal. Not only an
I was not
unprecedented amount of
expecting,
graphics power, but also
An
a
engine
completely
reveal.
new storage architecture.
That was not even
blows
on my
the-
mind.
blows
I
past
got a
architectures
tweet,
out of
like,
the water, and it's far ahead of even the
legit,
state of the art and the
like
highest end
20
PCs you
seconds
can buy.
before we started, that was like Unreal
so
Engine 5.
With Unreal Engine 5, we set out to build
And I'm like, okay.
a new generation of technology that empowers creators to create photorealistic scenes that are indistinguishable from reality. And to do so,
This
with a
is
very
like an
high degree of
industry
productivity,
changing
right? I mean, there are two problems
addition,
in
though.
game development, right? One is
for sure.
Like,
Yeah.
the features needed.
So I
to,
can see why
achieve
Geoff was saying
complete
what he was
realism.
saying because
Yeah.
But the other big problem is that
like
just
that
the
is
cost
this is
and time it
this
takes
is
for an
huge
artist
for
to create
the
a major
industry,
new piece
not
of
not even
content,
just
for
for
a next generation
one
game.
particular
And so
console or one
Unreal Engine
particular
5
game. Like
attacks
this is
both of
game
those
changing.
problems. We
Yeah.
have
Yeah,
the
'cause,
nanite
like,
system for virtual geometry,
Unreal Engine 3
enabling
on like 360 and
sub-pixel
PS3, ugly as
geometry,
hell, and too many
which
games
is
to this day.
imperceptibly
Right.
Lots of browns and
imperceptibly
grays,
different from the
but like
you know,
this is like
full high
really
quality
impressive
assets,
for,
or
like,
the
a
movie
third-party
quality
engine.
assets that were originally scanned.
Oh, definitely.
Also, the Lumen, the real-time global illumination system.
Does anyone
not only to
know
bring unprecedented quality and lighting to the environments,
a
but also to
percent,
free
even a
artists,
rough
from
estimate
having to
of
worry about the details
AAA third-party
of
games
lighting
use
their
Unreal?
levels.
What,
Make all
like
these
the
set
fraction of
trade-offs
them?
in static
Like how
lighting
many of
versus
them use
dynamic
Unreal?
lighting. And so
Yeah.
really trying to empower developers
I
here.
can think of
and
a
to
couple specific
enable
ones,
developers
like
to create a new
Arkham
generation
does.
of experiences
Right.
that are both
I
unbelievably
believe
realistic, but
the
also
Mortar games do
economical
also.
and practical
Most
for
yeah, I
them to
think they
create
do.
without having to have a
Um,
1,000 person
I feel like
team.
this is a very popular
Yeah, I mean, when you
engine
look at that
for-
footage,
Oh, yeah.
in
For
4K,
games to
I
use.
mean, just the level of detail is absolutely stunning. Kim, maybe you could break down a little bit of this, sort of visually, what's happening that makes it look so incredible? Because I know you've got a
New
couple of
theory.
new systems that you're really proud of, and maybe talk about
Let's hear it.
Nanite and what that is
What
and how
if,
it works and how it's going to kind of
you
shape
know,
games
how-
moving forward.
Unreal
Okay,
Engine
so
3,
Nanite is a new
for
geometry
the
system
longest
for Unreal
time,
Engine that lets us
Batman
get
Arkham
down
used
to almost sub-pixel
Unreal Engine
levels
3
of
for
detail
all of them.
on
I
the
don't even
screen.
think Arkham Knight was on Unreal 4, right?
To
Right.
have
Yeah.
a new generation of
What
hardware
if
that really allows us to put
to
loads and loads of
display
triangles
the
on
excellence of
screen.
Unreal Engine
And we
5,
thought
not
that
Batman,
would,
but
come up with a new
Rocksteady?
technique that allowed us
Oh.
to be able to create content in a similar way
Maybe.
to the way that they do on movies today. So in fact, when you look at that demo, all
'Cause
that
I don't
Do you put
believe-
that at
Crazy.
the end of this?
Basically
Do you
Yeah.
put that at the end of this
movie
interview
quality
though? Like,
assets from Quixel
I feel like people are probably gonna
And they
stop.
honestly even have to think
That's what I'm
about it.
afraid about.
Doing it
Like,
right now.
there's no way we're gonna have the rest of this just be. I mean, like, if it is, and it is. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
I feel like there's got to be a little something, you know?
Give me
Maybe.
something.
A little bit, yeah. Just confirm
Yeah.
Batman. Screw it. I don't know. Whatever. Do something.
That'd be wild.
I
Yeah,
think
when
it
saw that
depends
demo,
how
I
long
was
this
just so blown
initial
away
part of
by
the interview
the
goes.
visual
Yeah.
fidelity, and also I think how much felt, at least to
Wrap
me,
up
as
in,
an
like,
end user,
5
how much
minutes, then
felt
Keto
that
can be like,
so much
"Oh,
of the
something
environment
else."
was streaming in real
Right.
time in so much detail.
He
especially
hasn't
as
said
it's
anything
still
like.
flying through the environment.
Sorry.
Mark Cerny has talked a lot
Still
about
in line with Unreal
PlayStation
5, I mean,
and the,
like,
the
Yeah.
incredible, bandwidth it's going to have.
He never
to,
said
move data
in the
from
stream
real
like
systems
or like
right
before the
onto
interview would be
screen.
like stay tuned after the
Nick, can
interview
you talk a
for
bit about how that's
like something. So he hasn't said anything like that, but that'd be cool. I love that.
I do really want this to be a real game, though, man.
Weren't possible in previous generations.
That looks
Yeah,
super
it looks cool.
impressive. That looked very
so
impressive.
Nanite enabled
I
the
like
artist
that.
to build a scene with
The flight at the end. I always love
would have been impossible
any sort of
before.
gliding
Their
or
intent
movement
to
throughout
build
open
a
worlds
world
in
that
games.
scene,
So
and
that looked
we
awesome.
simply
That
couldn't
looks
get them all
sick.
in memory at
Even
once.
if this
And
isn't a
so,
real game, I
what we ended
hope
up
that,
needing to do
which it doesn't seem like it is. I hope
streaming in triangles
that
as the camera
function
moved
is
throughout
used
the
in a game
environment.
somewhere.
like I know like the likeness of it not being a real game is pretty high, but it seemed just like that like orb she found in that like center room was like a new ability that like she just gained or whatever, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah, totally.
It was flight and she just did it. Like, you know, it like seemed like that. I don't know. That seemed dope.
Before,
Yeah.
But now, really manifesting sort of in real
Shout out to
time
that
in
dude's
environment
lamp in the
with,
back
the
in the bottom
flashlight or
left.
Some of the other, lighting scenes.
Yeah, what
Can
is
you
that?
just
Edison
break
lamp? Is
down
that
sort
what that's
of,
called?
on
I
the-
forgot what
the
it's
creator
called.
perspective,
They're
how
like-
games are
Tesla
gonna
coil,
change
right?
The
because
like
of
Jimmy
the
Neutron
full
S
global
type
illumination?
of looking thing. Oh, it is called a Tesla coil?
Let me
First of all,
confirm
enables
this.
a much wider
Beautiful.
variety of games,
Get the scoop.
to have,
Get the scoop.
I
very
think so.
realistic, responses to light.
It's like that thing you
Um,
went to like the science
you know,
museum, put your
everything
hand
from,
on, your
yeah,
hair got all frizzy.
And they all,
from
yeah.
large-scale open world types of games, with day-night cycles.
Stand by.
He has
seeing
another
seamless
interesting lamp over here on this
transition
table
from indoor to
too.
Outdoor.
Interesting.
It's just
Yeah.
it makes
looks
lighting
like
one of the things that the
eating
developers don't have
apples,
to worry
you know?
about.
I
And
thought this man just said
it's a
Endor. I was like, we
freeing
talking
Dude,
Star
I
Wars
did
now?
too. I was
Does it
about to
mean
say, did he just
more
say?
real-time lighting in games.
He shout out
It
Endor?
means,
Didn't
there's
didn't
a large set of problems that were
Battlefront,
very tricky in
Fallen
the
Order,
generation.
didn't they use Unreal?
Developers just don't need to worry
Yeah,
about it. So
I
think
feel
they're
like
going
that's
to
right. I can
wider
check real
variety
quick.
of types of games.
I can check.
taking
Dude,
advantage
Fallen
of
Order
them
2 is
and
on
taking
Unreal
advantage of
5.
that.
I'm gonna
And
die. I'm gonna die.
One of the core
Let's see.
elements of every new generation transition is new hardware capabilities with an order of magnitude improvement over previous generations enable entirely new types of games. to
Unreal
evolve.
Engine 4, yes. Yeah.
The Battle Royale genre
Nice.
didn't even
Jeff
take
Miller
off,
is
until
Unreal Engine 4.
the current generation.
Guys, we're
where you finally
getting
had enough computing and
plasma
graphics power
ball
to do
lamp
100
for the
player
name of
game,
that.
Plasma
with very,
ball
very high
lamp.
fidelity encounters.
I
That's
do
what
like.
I'm saying.
This new generation
I
of
will
technology
admit that the
we're
Tesla
building with
coil
Unreal
lamp
Engine
does
5
sound a
with
little bit more
Sony's empowering
sophisticated
with
and a lot
PlayStation
more,
5
Mhm.
you know,
will enable
enticing
entirely
to
new
buy.
types of game experiences. that we didn't
Surely
anticipate yet.
that's not there
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk over
throughout
the
the day.
past couple weeks
Surely
about,
he put
the
that
next
there.
generation and
Oh,
kind
to
of
look cool.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely.
For some
Oh,
aesthetics.
100%.
previous
Oh, absolutely.
generations, what are the types of things we're going to see?
With his
out
Popeye
of
streak?
Kalen in the chat
is the first
asking
kind of
if we were
real-time
expecting a game
example
reveal.
of
I think
something
safe to
that's,
say yes.
really
Yeah,
fast.
yeah,
I
but
just
I
wanna
mean,
confirm
hey,
what
who-
we're seeing there,
Yeah.
that's
Sorry.
all.
So,
like, you
sorry,
can
Greg,
actually
my bad.
play that with a
Like,
controller,
I don't
like,
think
that's
any of
not,
us really,
frame dumped or anything.
or
that's actually
anyone in
playable.
general, really
It's a
expects
fully playable demo,
an engine
and,
reveal,
you plug in
right? Like, that's
recordings
Yeah.
not
back
something
of the
that's
PlayStation 5 dev kit, and recording the
as
signal that came out over HDMI.
sought
So
after,
it's a
I guess,
fully
or
open
as
demo,
glamorous
and it's
as the
replayable,
game
and,
reveal.
Mhm.
But it
different
has
example
longer
play.
longer
Wow. No, because I mean that flight
effects,
sequence,
I
that's
guess,
what's so
on the
exciting to me,
industry
is, like, this
Yeah.
and
is
some
real-time,
wider-reaching effects.
Footage. So
This like
Yeah.
definitely
you guys think
felt a
anyone
little
can say,
bit like
what
analogous
is
to like
leap
the
of this generation gonna be
not
to,
exactly,
previous
but
generations from, like,
a
PlayStation
similar
3,
feeling of
4,
like
whatnot.
the
Is it any different this time?
why am I
Is it
forgetting
gonna
his
be
name?
greater, less, or we don't know yet?
Mark Cerny, the
Mhm.
PS5 talk,
I think the
like
sense
how it
of
was
immersion,
it's like a
you know,
super
one of the
nitty
great
gritty
things
like
about playing
inside
games is you
baseball
can
type of
transport it to places that you
talk,
could never go
but it's still
in
cool
the normal
nonetheless,
world.
and like its ramifications
This
that it
level
could
of
have
lighting
overall,
and
you know.
detail
But
really gets you to a point where you're feeling like you're inside
Yeah.
a movie set. There's like things that's not
I
realistic.
think
And it's just gonna
maybe
aid
a
the
better way to
storytelling,
show
the
it
sense
though
of immersion,
is with
the feeling a player
a
gets from
game
actually
using it,
visiting
not
space
just a tech
will
demo.
will
I
be
agree.
much
Totally.
deeper than
I
you've
agree.
ever seen before.
I agree.
For an
100%.
event like this, at
And
least.
the ability of the
Yeah.
hardware and the engine to stream it.
Like I think a
is
perfect way to
massive
show it
enough
would have been
as
what
you're
you
going
said.
through
Yeah,
a
like
big
have
environment.
like a Batman, you know, or
I
like a
think it's going to
Rocksteady
have a
game,
much bigger
you know,
impact
or they're
on
working on
the-
like show
on
debut
the
that
gaming than
for
people are
Unreal
expecting
Engine
right
5, you
now.
know, like to see like the
You know,
difference between,
until
you know,
this next generation
the
of hardware,
Arkham Knight,
previous generation console
Asylum
games had to
City,
be
whatever,
built
and
on
how that translates to like a new
data
engine
off of a
and
spinning
how that
mechanical
goes,
device,
you know.
right? It has its roots
Something that
in
we're
the
all
1950s.
pretty familiar with.
Um,
You know, I'm sure not
and
everyone's played the
now,
Arkham games that like watch the
Sony's
stream,
storage
but
system is absolutely world class.
I'd say a majority.
You know, not only the best
A good
in
portion.
class in
A good
console, but
portion.
also
Do you guys
the
think
best on any platform.
Jeff's
better
language
than high-end
and
PC.
particular
I think this is
wording
going to
about
enable,
like this will
the
be the
types of
most
immersion
like
that we
important
all
announcement
dreamed
of
in
the
the
summer?
past.
Do you think that lives up
the
if
world
it's
of
just
loading
this?
screens is over, and
If it's just the
advantage
engine
of,
reveal and the talk, do you think that lives up?
Like a subtle, yeah, because like I mean you're not
Mhm.
wrong. Like Unreal Engine,
The
you know,
resulting
is
effect
a
is the
huge
ability to build
huge
games
game
that are fully
engine
immersive
that a lot of
from
devs
start
use
to
and
finish
a lot of games
over,
use.
you know,
So like,
hundreds of hours of gameplay. It's
yeah,
a game.
but
Yeah, no,
a subtle, yeah,
incredible
like,
what
yeah,
I think this is
I
going to
guess,
enable.
you know.
We've
Yeah.
talked a lot about PS5.
I think
obviously Unreal
important,
Engine runs
probably
across
yes,
all
because of what Kevin
platforms,
said, but
including,
like
mobile
exciting,
and PC and Xbox. And
Precisely.
not as much.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
your take on like what
It's-
you're showing
yeah,
here? How is
I
that
think
going to scale to to other systems?
when
Like, this
you
demo
when you
we're
go
seeing,
back
is
and
that,
see what he
will
said
that
compared
run on
and
the
compared to like
Xbox
what
Series
actually was
X?
revealed, I think it
Will
is
How will it be different? Can you guys give us
probably.
some context on that.
I don't know if we'll see what the rest of the summer brings, but this is definitely a very important announcement.
Yeah.
But it's not like what we were saying. It's not as like glamorous as like, oh, it's the new Batman, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's not something we can really sink our teeth into. Like what you guys are both saying. Like if this was attached to a game, then that would have been, I think, really, really hype. Although I think this is really important, and I'm definitely glad. I feel like this is a good look into next gen that we really haven't seen yet. Even if it's not a real game, I feel like for AAA games, it's gonna look something like this.
I think 100% like this felt more next gen than like anything Xbox showed last week. You know, from their
100%,
like you know what I'm saying. Like I think this is a leap in, probably not leap in bounds, but this felt the most next
Tim,
gen
do you
to
have a
me.
sense between, like,
up to
sort of
date,
all the, like,
you know,
Xbox,
for sure.
PlayStation, all these
Yeah.
other systems, like, sort of,
Besides like
maybe
seeing
somewhat
Spider-Man run
different choices, also some similar
at a
ones,
super
obviously the SSDs
high
and
like
both.
output
Do you have a
rate.
sense of how they're gonna sort
We
of
saw
compare
that
in
tech
terms
demo of
power, or,
Spider-Man
how you look at sort of, like, the
Spider-Man
overall landscape?
running on PS4 versus PS5
Well,
with
we
the
love all of
SSD and
our-
everything,
we
and like
kinda,
how fast they can load the
make
world in.
comparisons, or pick
Like
favorites,
that was
but,
probably
the nanite technology we
that
showed,
had that
is
former
going to run
spot of like the
across all
most next gen thing
next-generation
we've seen.
consoles,
At least I feel
and
like.
high-end
Mhm.
PC. And most importantly, this is what's possible and the absolute best hardware.
I
That's
still
going
think
to
it's so
exist,
funny how
at
Jack
the end
pointed
of
out
the
that
year.
he really
But
just put that
these
lamp there
experiences
just
you
to
build,
just
you
to
help
look cool
developers
on the
scale
street.
down to
How can
every
I
device
make
that
this
exists in the
background
world.
He's
look
like-
a little
We
better?
really hope to empower all
It's
developers to
interesting.
do what
I don't know if you guys
we've done
heard.
with
It's
Fortnite in this
interesting that
generation, which
they
is
are
build
talking about the
absolutely
PS5
no
because
sacrifices, high-end
Kevin,
console
you
game,
know probably more than
and
either of
then
us how
bring
like
it to
there's
every
been
device, including scaling
not
it
controversy,
down to
but like a
iOS
lot of
and
people
Android devices from years
calling
ago,
into
so
question
that
the
you
PS5
can reach
technical
a much,
prowess
much larger
versus
audience
the
of gamers than
Series
just,
X.
that hardcore,
And
some
when they were
200 million,
talking
console
about
players in the
the
world.
storage, they
So,
said
Kim, I know a lot of
Sony's,
gamers
or
around the
I think
world watch that
Sweeney
footage and
in the
said,
bottom left was like,
wow, I want to play that, but I'm sure they're also trying to kind of extrapolate out of
PlayStation
that since
storage
it's,
is
this
best in
not a
class.
game, it's a
Talking about
demo,
PS5 for next gen, so like
how
I feel
their
like that's an
games
interesting
are
little
gonna feel
nugget of
different
information
in the
there.
next
Right,
generation. And one of the things
right,
that I really took away
right.
from it was that,
Also,
that
like,
flight
there's,
sequence at the
you
end
know,
was
like,
just
there were
incredible,
some
with, the sort of the rubble
talks
coming
weeks ago
down
about
and
how,
things moving.
you know,
Could
they
you
were
maybe
having
talk
issues
about
with like
sort of how
performance
the
to a
game
degree on
experience
PS5.
might
So it
change
is
with
kind of
PS5? Sure, it's gonna
interesting to
look,
get
visually
this
more
rebuttal
beautiful, but how is it
in a
gonna
way.
play different?
So,
I don't know.
so traditionally on this current generation, if
but-
you wanted to make
Nibel was
a realistic
tweeting.
environment, the way
So,
that people do
so
that is they bake
the
light into
engine
the
is out in
environment. The problem with
2021.
that means
It
the
supports
environment is not
current
dynamic,
and
you
next
can't move
gen,
things around, you can't
Interesting.
and
constantly
iOS,
generate
Android,
content
Mac, and
because you
PC.
don't know what it is entirely
And
shipping
then
But with this
the tech
technology,
demo
with
is
Lumen
fully
technology,
playable.
Nanite, it means that worlds can
Ooh.
be
So what we saw
super
was
rich and super dynamic. So
gameplay.
not
Play-
just destructible
playable like
components,
when
but
Unreal Engine 5
retaining
comes out, or
components
like
and things that
playable.
change
So
beyond the release
I
of the
think
game.
he meant
Every
that
day,
this
the
was a
environment
demo
could
that someone
Oh.
created
change,
and they
and that can
played it.
all become
Right.
later
Okay.
live.
Okay. I understand. I understand.
And does that
I
extend
understand.
to, like, I mean, I assume like destructible environments and whatnot, and allowing people to sort of, really like just. I mean, that sequence in the flight where you sort of, saw the sort of tower crash down or whatever. I mean, that felt.
PlayStation's really getting
I hadn't
all
seen
the
that level
branding
of
for
detail
pretty
in a
much
game like
all the
this.
announcements. I mean, aside from the
As far
Xbox
as,
stuff,
like,
they're getting
destruction moments, but it felt like
everything.
that was so detailed and so realistic.
Do you
Like,
think?
that's wild.
Because you can
Do you
now
think a good way
see
for
the
them
environment
to
more in real
like
time?
showcase Unreal
Yes,
Engine
and even
5 on
effects
like a
when we
grand
open
scale?
that big dome where all the statues are,
What
the light just
do you
floods
think
in
they
and
would
bounces
throw
all
it
over
throw
the
it
place.
into
You know,
Fortnite?
you really-
Because I mean,
the
like
way you would have to do
they
that has to
they
be
like have
realistic.
changed like
Now it
really
can be fully
big parts of like the
dynamic.
fundamentals
You can
of
blow a hole in
Fortnite.
the
Like when
sky
they
and the light will come
unveiled,
through,
I think it was
and,
chapter
even choose
2.
randomly coloured
They
lights
put
from
in the
anything seen as a
new
player,
physics
then they'll
engine
have an effect on the whole
into
world, and
Fortnite.
it'll still look realistic.
So like
So in the
they're
past,
they won't shy away from like
like
changing the game fundamentally, but like
Yeah,
do you think
exactly. And even,
they
even
would
if you
they would
were,
show
like,
off
if you
on
were saying you're in a dungeon
Unreal Engine 5
and
like
you
in
place a
Fortnite
light
and have that
and
be
you've got
like
a candle
a
that
free
you
to
haven't
play
had
like
in
showcase
place
of
it,
what the engine can
that will
do?
bounce around corners. So you can explore.
So like have
limited
this
light
demo
sources
in
more
Fortnite, like in a
old-fashioned
separate
gaming
menu.
would have in a
No,
PS5
no,
PC.
like I mean like literally
Because you don't need
like
anymore.
swap.
You can actually use light in
I
really
mean,
interesting
I know like I'm
ways.
talking like oh yeah like just swap it, but like I don't know how complicated that is. But like if
Yeah.
they shifted Fortnite to run on Unreal Engine 5.
Of course, I think everyone knows the
I could
see that
happening.
You
know,
Unreal Engine,
as a way to like showcase
channel. I mean, there's so
show
many other uses of UE.
showcase the engine on like
Can you guys talk
a
about
free to
how
play
sort of
standpoint. Like
UE 5
everyone
is
can
going
see
to,
the benefits
kind
of Unreal
tie
Engine
into
5 like
those
for free if they
experiences
wanted to.
and
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, Fortnite is Epic's baby, so I could totally see that. 2021, I don't know if they'll announce that here, but like totally 2021, they'd come out and be like, yeah, we're gonna use Unreal Engine 5 on Fortnite now. The art style will probably be similar. It's not going to be like realistic or anything like this, I don't think, because that's just the way the game is. But yeah, I mean, obviously that game will benefit crazily from this engine.
Yeah,
I can totally see that happening.
Yeah, because I mean, like, even the facial structure of like the girl that we saw in the tech demo, like, look Fortnite-esque. You know, not like exactly Fortnite, but like her eyes that were like a little bit not proportional to like her face. You know what I'm saying?
The anime
like,
eyes.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, yeah. Like it seemed a little bit, you know, of that cartoony vibe. You know?
Yeah, I honestly I think I might see it be more plausible that they pursue a new project with Unreal 5 and then maybe use Fortnite as advertising for it, like they do sometimes.
Right.
Okay. Like, make this a new IP and then have it with a big Fortnite crossover event and like maybe showcase a trailer in the game or something.
Right.
You know, just to like sort of sell it that way.
When you take an asset from the Quixel store, there is a movie quality version that would be used in movies.
I've never seen an engine
the Jungle Book movie a few years ago,
branded with a particular console. Like obviously this will be on Xbox and PlayStation, but PlayStation has like Geoff Keighley tweeted, this is where was it? He tweeted something about like this is PlayStation. Like this is what PlayStation 5 will look like. And that's just so interesting to me that it's not tied to a particular game. It's just an engine.
Yeah, that's important for you. Sort of have the
it's a good point. It's a good point.
Compatibility.
Yeah, absolutely. We want to support developers.
Fortnite will migrate to Unreal Engine 5 in mid-2021, according to Nibble.
Get out, boys! I said it first.
So,
At me, I said it first. I said it first. Let's go. Let's go.
We're talking about it right now too.
Next year we will be bringing Fortnite to
yeah.
UE5 as well. So we'll be testing out that experience of bringing a game along from UE4 to UE5, and making sure the transition is manageable.
Because I was even shocked when they said that they were changing like the engine in Fortnite for like the physics. You know?
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, like that's like that seems like a hard thing to do, but
Unreal. And I was wondering if you guys could talk a bit about that, because I look at the Travis Scott concert and I see that as an amazing experience, but it sort of was an interactive music video in a way, and then you watch the YouTube video for his new song, it's actually just what was in Unreal. How do you see all the sort of worlds of entertainment combining, Tim, longer term? And obviously, based on what Kim was saying,
this is like honestly like a top 3 event of all time. I swear to God,
but
Jack.
From an experience standpoint, do you see
the Travis Scott thing?
Oh God, it was dope. It was great.
Powered by Unreal.
So was this live? Like if you missed it, you missed it.
These worlds are colliding.
No,
right
yeah.
it
was live. It was live. Yeah.
We're seeing
that's cool. That's so cool.
It was sick, dude. It was
insane. Did you just like drop into Battle Royale and then it like migrated you to there, or what? So what was that about?
So you dropped into BR. There was a countdown, and then like on the 2-minute mark, they disabled all the weapons and all the equipment, so no one could kill anyone. And then they just started, and it was just like a whole thing. It was insane. It lasted like 15 minutes. It was like 15. It was like 15, 16 minutes, something like that.
But in the future,
Fortnite's the future, man.
This is going to be an exercise to build every asset exactly once and then deploy it everywhere.
Before Summer Games went live, Keighley tweeted out the Joker "Here We Go" gif.
We're helping architects visualize.
I can't with this guy anymore.
This guy is trolling. He knows what he's doing.
Virtually produce their work.
Part of me thought that Keighley was going to troll us. I saw a Blessing from Kind of Funny tweet about, like, what if this is an Act 3? And he was just trolling us. What if this is PlayStation All-Stars 2? And he's just, like, riling us up. I'm glad he did. That would have been hilarious, though.
Honestly, I wouldn't completely hate the notion of a PlayStation All-Stars 2.
That'd be dope.
I wouldn't hate it. I just don't get the big hype behind it.
I wouldn't completely.
When General Motors released their Corvette car configurator for the 2020 Corvette.
I don't know. I mean, I like our idea a little bit more, Christian, about having like a literal battle royale. and just make the name fit.
From the
You
rest of
know,
the
like
world.
that sounds incredible.
So have 100 players as whatever PlayStation character. That would be so. That could be like Apex Legends in a way, where each character is like their own hero character, and they have special.
Exactly.
I'm liking it. I'm
You
liking
know,
it.
I think it could work. I think it could work.
The next generation.
Yeah, put me in a Sly Cooper.
Was Parappa the Rapper is a character, but if you're looking at him from like the side, you can't see him because he's just like a 3D asset.
That's good. That's good.
The meta.
Yeah,
that's incredible.
Transition
because I mean, you know, like people talk about like every PlayStation game is always a third person action, you know, third person. So like,
companies talking to customers one-on-one.
You know, a lot of these games are third person, so screw it.
Your Facebook page,
just do it, cowards.
You know, your Twitter account, anything like that. But
that sounds actually pretty awesome.
Having young Kratos versus old Kratos, you know, in there.
It's a social experience where players together are
maybe like original Nathan Drake from the trilogy versus Uncharted 4 Nathan Drake. You got that, you know,
Norman Reedus,
grappling hook, yes, Norman Reedus, all with the little BT scanner thing. That'd be sick.
Awesome content that these companies make available to
got some
power
ideas.
your entertainment experiences, and we're blazing this path to some extent with.
Have you guys seen any reactions from the general public?
I've been trying to see some. I imagine it's
Twitter.
Yeah,
entire digital content.
I pulled up Twitter. I do see some people that are a little bummed. Even in the chat as well. We got some people, Taylor and Burke, they're a little upset. Not upset, more just like disappointed.
Those shared experiences
that
you're having in Fortnite, even
that's fair, honestly, though.
There's no gunplay.
Yeah, I think it's fair.
Because weren't we all sort of expecting a game in a way?
Powered by Unreal, and then when you think of, as you said, those movie
guys,
assets and
like I get that. I get that.
Coming together in a world.
WB Montreal
really
just
exciting.
tweeted something.
One thing I wanted to ask you about
Would you like me to
was,
read
the
the
content
tweet?
creation,
Go for it.
Christian, I'm sorry.
We've seen a lot,
Okay, I'm
especially
gonna read it.
creative mode and a lot of,
Thank you very
fans
much
starting
for
to
the
build levels,
enthusiasm for our
obviously
next
UE,
project.
you
At
guys,
this
I think,
time, our channel will
really
showcase
focused
the
on kind of
studio,
making it accessible,
who we are,
lowering the
and
royalty
why we
rates for
love
kind
making
of,
games. So stay
upstart
tuned.
Developers. Can you maybe talk a bit about sort of the, your vision of kind of how easy it is?
Why are they
build
like
something
this?
in Unreal? I mean, are we going to get to a level where it is?
It's not like it's been
So-
like 80 days since we got the last tease.
Why are they
Yeah,
like
wasn't it
this?
January?
Is that barrier
Yeah.
going to go down in the next
September,
generation?
we got a couple tweets, and it's like, oh,
You know,
announcement
Epic
coming soon.
is working
Game Awards,
to
maybe? Who
address
knows?
the whole
January
range of
comes by.
content development
Another
scenarios.
tweet.
All
Oh,
the way
announcement
from,
coming soon.
Your AAA game developer or
Now it's
your
May.
feature film in Hollywood being produced
No announcement.
using world-class
Yep.
photoreal assets.
I mean,
all
we
the
know
way
it was
down
gonna be
to,
June.
Indie game
Yeah.
experiences and content creation.
Sure
for
was.
The 100 million people who want to build stuff.
Now is
and
it just
aren't
whenever?
Professional modelers
Yeah,
and haven't
it
had
certainly
training
is
yet.
whenever.
Um,
Because
and the
I
continuing
think
experiences,
Ubisoft, right,
span
is July now, because
Fortnite creative,
E3 is going to be
can
June,
like
and now
Yeah.
Ubisoft is like,
100 million people,
I mean, we
all the
can
way
just,
up to
doesn't have to be
Unreal
June now,
Engine 4 and the
can be
Unreal,
whenever.
Which is an insanely powerful piece of software that's actually pretty
That game has
complicated
to come out
learn.
this year.
I
Over
hope,
time,
dude.
these
Like,
these
if
tools and
if
technologies will be coming together in
they're
exciting
teasing us in a
ways.
way
So
where
we're
it's not like
we're not ready to talk about
a
all of it yet,
traditional like
but
30-second trailer
really thinking
tease, and it's like,
about,
oh, we'll get more soon. It's like
putting
they're
a lot of
holding it
effort
above
into
us and like pulling
addressing
it back.
the
Be like,
entire
nah, we're
continuum
we're
of
just gonna.
content development
Plus,
That's like
content deployment
honestly, it's like
scenarios.
kind of annoying.
Yeah, it is.
You know,
The
we
last
feel that
game they
the-
did was Origins, right?
state of
And
the
that
world
was
is a little bit
also
broken
in the
right now. If you
transition
look
year,
at,
so I could also
app
see
stores on
this one be
smartphones,
like.
you have 200.
Do you think it'd be like
Did you play,
October?
did you play
type of-
Origins?
For
I
the
didn't.
top 10
I did.
charts,
I did.
where
Origins
virtually
fun
you-
all
guy.
of the sales
Jack.
occur.
Oh, I loved it a
Um,
lot.
And you have a small
I liked it a
number of
lot. It was
players
really
and a
good.
whole
And
lot of
honestly,
losers in that way. And it's
Origins
not a
has
fair
my favorite
situation
boss
for
battle
game
of all time in
developers,
there
and you have a lot of
currently.
amazing games
Deathstroke?
that just get
Oh,
lost
you already
because
know.
they haven't
You
been
already
studied.
know.
Mhm.
That was a great time.
You know,
That was a great
more
2
Good
hours
stuff,
I was
dude.
stuck on that. It was great, but it was so satisfying when I did it. Oh, so good. So fun.
And, you know,
Such
this
a good
is-
boss
This has been
fight.
part of the industry since the days of
so
Quake
good.
and Unreal Tournament, when user mods became possible, and we and id Software released our first tools, so the community could start building their own stuff. And now it's
I
reached a
think
scale of
despite
hundreds of millions of users.
some of the
If you look at what
disappointment that some
Fortnite
people
is
have
doing,
today,
and
we're gonna get some
Minecraft
hype
and Roblox
announcements
enabling
this summer
user content
about
creation,
games.
but,
Like,
you know, I
for
think
sure.
that- I think right now
I
we
think
have
they also
two
officially
separate
announced
worlds,
that
right? Professional
that
tools,
Fortnite will be a
Unreal
launch
Engine,
title
Unity,
for
and then
Series
you
X and
have,
PS5,
tools for the
unsurprisingly, but
masses
still
and
pretty cool
Yeah.
to get that.
Minecraft, Roblox.
Good to know. Good to know.
They're really not connected anymore. They're not connected at all. And
Oh, so I
the
bet
next step
it'd be
is,
running on
is to cross
Unreal
over,
Engine
and
4
to
when it
enable,
comes to
all
launch
the
debut.
content
Right.
tools
Okay.
to,
That's fine.
Mhm.
reach
Yeah.
all of the customers and all of the ways that they play games.
I wonder if it's like the PS4, Xbox One version, or it's a new enhanced launch next gen version?
I would hope there is. I mean, I would hope that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would like some quality of life features in Fortnite, like field of view,
powerful and visual
slider, and different stuff like that for console. Like, I would like that.
The underlying architecture a little bit, and things especially like online services. And
is Fortnite 60 frames?
Yeah. Fortnite 60, I think, across the board. I think, right? Because I know it started out at 30, and then it shifted to 60.
And I guess
I don't think it is on Switch. I could be wrong.
Oh, Switch is
30.
Yeah. Switch is definitely 30.
Okay.
The other aspects of Unreal and Epic and how
did they confirm Switch for Unreal Engine 5, or did I miss that?
Oh, sure.
I don't know.
Yeah, today we're showing Unreal Engine 5 for the first
No.
time.
Xbox One, PS4, PC, iOS, Android, Mac, PlayStation 5, and Series X. Yeah, Switch is not.
Right now, and you can download the Epic Online Services SDK and use it right away. What this is the set of all of the online features that we built for Fortnite, including cross-platform friends that span 7 platforms, enable players to connect together with all of their friends everywhere.
Do you think,
despite the different account systems
the end
and friend
of
systems
this week, maybe the end of Summer Games Fest, we look back on this Wednesday, we see that there was the Unreal 5 announcement and then the Mafia trilogy. What do you think people are going to remember more?
And the goal here is to help all developers.
A very good question.
To accomplish what we would accomplish.
Because if we're not getting this until 2021, but Mafia's like around the corner, like what?
Cross-platform social ecosystem together with all of the other
this
in the industry, right?
It's not a tangible thing.
Instead of players.
Like it is, but it also isn't, right? It's not like, oh, we can play Unreal Engine 5. It's like sort of like it'll be in your games.
All of their friends everywhere, but also
I do think if they just put a name on that tech demo,
Epic
it would have been a big deal, you know?
If you choose to use Epic accounts in your
because
game,
it was like new. If it was
then you can reach
actually a
the
property
Fortnite
they
player base,
actually were considering working on, you know, like I don't think they're gonna fall through on that because Epic doesn't need to.
More importantly,
they have Fortnite and the Epic Game Store right now for money. It's like Steam. Like,
when 2 players become online friends and start
it was like Epic's brand new IP,
those friend connections
running on PS5, real time, showcasing Unreal 5. It's called this. You can play it like holiday 2021. I feel like that would have been a lot bigger.
Totally.
Even if it wasn't a long game, if it was like a 7-hour campaign or something, but looked like that the whole time, I feel like that would have been so big.
Recently, it was really only Epic.
I still think that like it might mean something if like by the end of Game Fest in August, like we saw so many games taking advantage of Unreal Engine 5 after this point, you know, and seeing like how great they look and how awesome they look, and like hopefully like we get those great, 10-12 minute gameplay demos, you know what I'm saying, and like that really shows a good chunk of what the engine can do. I think then his words of like, no, this will be like the most important, day of the summer, like debuting this engine, and like you guys, it won't be immediate right now, but looking back, you'll see the effects of this Wednesday. I mean, I could see that angle, but like from like right now, like it's
I could definitely see that be the case. I just don't know if because
I think that's such an interesting idea that
approach
these
like
gaming platforms almost become
showcasing games that are using it. If it's not going to be an engine that's available until 2021, I can't imagine like studios outside of Epic have access to it early.
Talk those numbers with Epic Online Services, it starts to feel like
places, because
Twitter or Snapchat
Arkham Knight was in development before Unreal 4 came out, and
is that part
Arkham
of
Knight was Unreal 3, I think, around the time Unreal 4 launched. So like,
as kind of a
I don't know if like Rocksteady might be using Unreal 4 for their next game, because they weren't averse to doing an entire project on the one they had for all that time, and they haven't made a game on Unreal 4 yet.
What we're building here is the opposite of a walled garden, right?
So when do you think we see games using this engine?
And connect
maybe like Game Awards next 2021.
And we're working with all the different console makers to
I don't know,
and other platforms and services.
It seems far off when you think about it that way. That
the most interesting thing about
because if it comes out in 2021 and devs don't have access till that,
but like
until then, that's kind of wild.
Is there a deal that we think that like it's gonna be like there's like a quote unquote like I don't know like beta form that like high tier devs get, like is that and then like the average like run of the mill like indie developer quote unquote gets it on 2021. Like when it actually launches, like could that be a facet? Yeah.
I think
I'm not sure how like engine distribution works in terms of like a new one coming out. Like I don't know how that goes down. You know.
Great.
You have to think of like what's in development already, you know, and like what could be using it. Like the WB games typically do it. So I think like Rocksteady's game, the next Batman, Harry Potter are probably all on Unreal 4. And they've been in development so long that they're not going to switch.
Oh, okay.
We have a lot of devices in our lives.
I think a notable one that is probably going to be Unreal 5 is Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2. Because they used Unreal, they switched to Unreal like 2 years after the announcement when they did the whole like developer switch. And Square Enix has been using Unreal to expedite production after all those years of struggle. Like Kingdom Hearts 3 switched to Unreal, and it was better for it. So
I mean,
what are the odds of like Fallen Order 2?
Experience, I guess, around that.
I think high.
Yeah,
I think it's a bit plausible. Yeah, same. Yeah.
Maybe it's a
I think like Fallen Order and 7 Part 2 are both real good chances because they're probably in pre-production right now. You know.
Yeah.
Based on what you were saying, Kim and Nick, it's like, are things going to look just like movie visual effects? Like, what are the things that I guess real-time games can't do still that we get to see in some of these other shows?
I think.
Where does someone get a lamp in the back right like that?
That's what I was like. That's
a real question.
Interesting.
Home goods.
Home goods
seems very home goods.
Yeah, I can see it.
Did your parents ever go to Kirkland's a lot? Is that a thing over there on the East Coast?
But we're getting
No.
closer.
We got
Kirkland's?
I don't think
One of
so.
the coolest things that we've
No,
seen,
okay.
with the
Kirkland's is
advent
it's an
shows like
experience.
The Mandalorian starting
It's an
to
experience to
see
be going there. It's an
They're beginning
experience.
to understand
But,
that the game engine isn't just
Christian, what are the odds that
real-time pixels.
what's up?
They're understanding that game engines, especially Unreal, is built for building these very immersive simulated worlds. So we're seeing people say they've got a car chase in their TV show that they're trying to make, then they'll actually drive cars with steering wheels and joypads to race against each other and then film that after the fact. So it's starting to become very almost like very Matrix way in the way that they're using simulation for cinematic content creation, and I think that's just going to get more and more common. And
He was talking about Mandalorian, how they used Unreal for sets.
Yeah, I was.
Right. Yes, right.
I was just about to say, like, I was gonna ask, like, didn't they use Unreal for Mandalorian?
Did they have crazy like LED sets to make some of those? That's insane to me. That's crazy. Because a lot of it looked really, really realistic, you know. But
yeah, it's very cool.
Christian, what are the odds that the first Ubisoft game
saw that,
does Ubisoft use Unreal?
Showcase that you guys just showed the demo.
I don't think so. They have an engine for Assassin's Creed.
But we should clarify that's
I'm pretty sure.
Game, I don't think, right? It's just a tech demo.
It's a tech demo. Yes. No, we feel it's the best.
Just a tech demo.
Yeah, I just heard that.
Hearts shattered.
Tragic.
Is to show something within the context.
But we kind of expected that.
So, and it also means
Division uses Snowdrop.
Yeah,
the Avatar game is also using Snowdrop.
That's what I was gonna say. Like the Avatar game would be cool if they use Unreal Engine 5.
Keeps it real.
I think that could be really, really well done.
Yeah, that's the tricky thing because like so many studios have their own engines. You know, it's like really up in the air on like who's just going to capitalize on it.
Me away when you see that final sequence at the flight, and that's the kind of thing that I think.
Off the top of my head, it is a lot. Some more recent Square Enix games, Dragon Quest 11,
it's really exciting
and
to see how you guys keep pushing the technology to the next level with UE5. And I know it's going to be next year. You say so. We'll see some next gen games this holiday shipping on brand UE 4.25, I think, right? And then next year is when we'll see UE5. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. We're planning on having a preview of UE5 available early next year, and then shipping the full 5.0 later in the year.
Yeah, and I imagine characters will also improve. I know you guys have done a lot of work there with sort of character technology. We already talked about with Nick, the idea of streaming more into the environment, no load times, as Tim mentioned. I mean, these are other things that I guess are going to sort of impact the game experience. But are there other dimensions that you think the next generation will sort of evolve to with UE5? I mean, I think the character stuff feels like to me another area where we're not quite the same as movies yet in terms of character technology.
Yo, that looks
I'm
impressive.
sure you guys are pushing on that too.
I'm very confident
Where did this
Sorry,
come
go
from?
ahead, Tim.
I don't know where this came from.
This
Did
is
they show
the tip
this?
of the iceberg here. We've shown digital humans technology in the past, but
Oh,
Epic
is
and the
that
Three Lateral
previous?
team that recently joined us are going to be pushing that to an entirely new level. Not just in
that might have
graphics
been
fidelity, but also in
Former example.
Shadow
productivity
of
for content creators, so that
Mordor when he was doing.
a
Did he do?
developer
Was
without
he
a
involved in that
budget
game?
can build,
I have no idea.
digital humans
For
that are
Colin.
world class. We have a
The
lot of
last game I
investments
know
going
he
on
did
that you'll
was
hear about
Enslaved
over
Odyssey to the
coming,
West.
months and over the next year. Also, at the core of this, this isn't a big open world demo, but open world technology and enabling worlds without bounds is the key initiative that's uniting all of this. Virtualized geometry is one part of it. Global elimination with Lumen is another
Did
part
Geoff
of it.
Keighley
Ultimately, this comes together
give
to become,
himself a Game
huge,
Award?
streaming, seamless environments. So that creates an entirely new direction for games to go. And remember, this is not just
It's a nice
this
superlative.
is not just a
I don't know
Also,
why.
he has
simulation
a
engine,
goddamn batarang behind his
I
shoulder,
know.
as if he
That's
doesn't,
simulating
as if he
realistic
doesn't know
environment,
what he's doing.
including very detailed physics, vehicles,
He knows what that
collisions,
Oh, absolutely.
construction, and everything
Also,
else. I think
wait, I can't tell if that's
we'll
a.
see
So it
this
looks like an
elevated
iMac
in
behind
different,
him. And let me
Yeah.
tell you something.
games
And
that
they
will
have not
be
put out an
available
iMac
in
with
the future.
those small
It's going to be very
bezels.
exciting
That
because
that
we
that
don't
doesn't
yet know
exist.
exactly
So
what they're going
I don't
to
know
do.
if he has.
And
I
how
don't know
does,
if it's just like the
you guys
way
mentioned Fortnite moving
how far
to
back it is
UE5
or
next
whatever,
year. Like, I mean, how
or how
is this
much
gonna
the
impact,
Gaussian blur is, if
Fortnite,
you
do you
will,
think,
or
in
the
terms
I
of
forgot
the
what that
game
actually is
with
called,
UE5?
that blur
You
type
don't want
on
to
cameras,
spoil
but
much, but it's like just technically sort of like
those
is that
bezels
gonna
look a little bit
enable
smaller
the
to me.
game to evolve too?
and I'm jealous.
Well, it puts a vast amount of
But I really
additional
didn't
new
consider
power
that.
in the
Yo,
hands of
maybe
all
he
the
did give
creators
himself
who
a
build
Game Award.
Fortnite, both within Epic.
I don't know what it says on
and,
it.
I have not
the
considered
100
it.
million or so outside
Good job,
of
Jeff.
Epic. It's going to be very interesting to see where this
GG,
enables,
Jeff,
the
GG.
game to go in the future. I think what we have now is a very, very small fraction of what the game will be in the future, and it's going to be very exciting to see the Fortnite team evolve and have all of this new power in their hands.
When I see it as, it's a game, but it also feels like a platform in a way that it's enabling, these other, this
What if they
battle
really
royale
made
game
Fortnite
that
look like
there's
super realistic?
creative, and obviously we've started to see,
Except
other
the character
experiences
models.
with
Like,
music artists
what if
and
it looked
whatnot,
like that type demo?
around it, so it feels like it is this,
I feel like you'd lose the
beachhead to sort
audience,
of a bunch of
honestly.
other content. Is that how you view it? As sort of this, sort of this? I mean, people have used the term, sort of metaverse, but is that sort of the longer term vision? Is that Fortnite can sort of grow to wherever creators want to take it?
Yeah, they define a platform as an ecosystem in which most of the content is not created by the company that operates it, right?
Guys,
if you
Mafia
look at Fortnite today, it's not that.
Definitive
but
Edition
anything's possible in the future.
out August
I think that's
28th.
Nice.
That's a very interesting.
Nice.
That's the trilogy,
direction
right?
for the whole game business.
I believe so.
Every game developer
These
will
I saw
screenshots
from
look
one-
great.
From one Twitter
how
account.
to
Yeah,
not
the
limit their
screenshots look crazy.
experience
They
by
look
the
great. That looks
10
really
or
impressive.
100 or 1,000 people on their
Do we have
development
platforms?
team, but how to
Yes.
entire world's creativity to enable
Oh, those
an entirely
screenshots
new
are
generation of
nice.
game
Those look
experiences
really
to be
good.
developed in an entirely
Those
new
screenshots
way.
look great.
Yeah, well, I think
I know it's
UE5
PS4,
obviously shows the
Xbox One,
high end of
PC,
the
I'm assuming.
aspiration for everyone to what they'll eventually be able to
They
maybe
popped up
make.
on the
And yeah, that
Microsoft
demo
Store.
is
These screenshots.
absolutely stunning. Before
Yeah.
I wanted to ask
Yo,
you, like,
these
So
look-
I never
that demo, how
played
long did it
Mafia
take you guys
outside
to
of one of the
build and
demos,
work on it? Can you give us a sense
but-
of like, how that
I
came to life?
bet that was the Mafia 2 demo too.
Yeah, it
Well, we
was.
started thinking about it.
I
So,
played that.
after
There's so
GDC
many
was when we
demos
started
on
thinking about it.
360
We
that I
Brian's,
played, and then
Brian's
bought the
demo
game because of
technology was
that.
beginning to
I
come
missed
online.
demos.
And but the bulk of the
Mafia 2
work,
is definitely that
I'd
demo
say
for
the
me.
bulk of the work started from sort of September through to March. And I think the team.
Yeah,
You know,
I'll
put
definitely
peaked over
play
this, but I think it was
Mafia.
about 2,000 people
I'll definitely
that
run
worked
through
on
that
the-
trilogy.
on the
Why
project
not?
overall. And
down.
with a bit of help from
I'm
our
down.
friends at Quixel, if it hadn't been for the Quixel Megascan library, we couldn't be able to populate that world.
Yeah, well, I'm sure everyone looks at that. and
Unless
says, "I
Mass
wanna play
Effect comes out at
game,"
that
but I know
point,
we're
then,
not
you know.
necessarily gonna get it, but it hopefully will inspire. a
I
lot
skipped
of
over
people
Mass
around
Effect
the world
once.
to
I
know
won't do
what
it
would be
again,
possible,
guys.
Yeah,
won't do it
I
again.
need to.
and
All
also
right.
the next generation
Did
system.
Mass
So,
Effect use Unreal?
yeah, I feel real excited now about what
Well,
we're going to see
that's
for the rest of the
EA.
year for all these next gen games,
Right,
and of course
But
into the
I don't think
future.
they use Frostbite for that.
Thanks as always for
Surely.
joining
No, they
me,
used it for
guys.
Andromeda, I
It's
know.
great to see the first look at
Did
UE
they?
5 and hear about where Epic's going.
Ooh.
And
So Keighley's wrapping up, it sounds like.
Yeah, and there's still
Yep.
time left.
Thanks, guys.
So who knows, guys?
Thank you.
Thanks for watching.
Let me see.
I swear to God, if Batman shows up.
Seems like that's it.
Yeah. Unless he's about to come back with something.
I'm gonna hold on.
One more thing.
One more thing. One more thing.
Don't be a trailer. Don't be a trailer.
Oh shoot! It is over. Damn.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Huh.
All right.
They do use Unreal.
Mass Effect?
Yes.
So yeah, maybe the trilogy's on Unreal 4 or something.
Let's say the original Mass Effect was using Unreal Engine 3. Then I'll check 2 and 3, and then drop.
I bet they were all on 3 because 4 didn't come out until like 2015 or 16, I think.
Interesting. Yeah.
Talon, yes, Mafia was revealed a couple hours ago via the Twitter account for the game. They tweeted out a reveal trailer and some screenshots. Looks real pretty.
Very
It
cool.
looks amazing. I'm
really
very
cool.
impressed.
Do we have a price on that?
I would love a price on that.
Good question. Good question.
I do not. I don't think we have a price on it. To be
Because I guess following up yesterday too with Tony Hawk being 40, very appealing. Especially if you consider it's like basically $20 for Pro Skater 1 and then 20 for 2.
Yep.
Good deal. So I wonder if Mafia's a full 60 or a little discount. Because I know SpongeBob is a full remaster as well, and that's 30 at launch. So
I imagine it's gonna be 60 for the
for the
I can
games
see that game making. Yeah, I can see that making the case for 60.
Yeah. I mean, I would love a cheaper price. I mean, but I think I think 60 is a fine price to pay for those 3 games. Makes sense.
So, I guess we talked a little bit about expectations after we figured out what was happening, but Jack, starting with you, do you think that this event, not directly what you were assuming what was going to happen, but expectation-wise, you feel that it lives up to the name, but more long-term than right now, right?
Right, yeah. So, like what we were saying, I think this does meet the expectations that Geoff was putting out there, right? Like, this is like one of the most important announcements of the summer. I think that's totally true because we will see long-lasting effects from this engine in next gen. Like, this is, I think, I'd make the argument that this is the first time we've really seen next gen.
I would agree.
Like, this is what next gen will look like, despite this not being a game. Right, that's slightly disappointing. I understand where people are coming from, but this is what we can expect, and I think throughout the rest of the summer, we'll definitely get those game announcements. Right, we're gonna get Batman. We're probably gonna get Harry Potter, stuff that people are expecting. We're gonna get, I think. So I can understand why people are slightly disappointed, but I do think people will be more hyped by those announcements of particular games because they're more tangible. There's something that people can recognize and identify with rather than an engine that sort of tells us what next gen is going to look like.
Right.
Yeah. Kevin, you and I talked about this a little bit on Gamescast recently. With the whole global crisis going on right now and companies adjusting to, I guess, working from home, and specifically what we talked about with Nintendo in Japan, like the Japanese work style isn't suited well to work from home the way the US is. Just recently, this morning, I saw a tweet talking about how Square Enix is not going to be doing a full presentation to announce their upcoming projects for the next fiscal year. They're going to be doing them individually because they can't work fast enough to get all the assets ready for a big presentation. Do you think that more companies might end up going that route as we continue down the road we're on right now? Like, do you think events like this, which is more just a singular announcement, no matter what the scale of hype is, So do you think that is something that we have to end up preparing for on our own terms?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and like that's like very telling also because like I mean like I think it all started. Well, obviously it's because of the global condition right now. But I think like what was really the big like precipice was E3 getting canceled, right? And like no longer like having like develop. We hear so much about how like okay, like they work for months and months on their vertical slice of the game that they are trying to say or like promote in a trailer that they want to promote, whatever. And there was always like a clear deadline of okay, cool, like we have to all have it done in time for E3. Like early June, that is the cutoff, right? And now that we're in this like wildland where there isn't really a cutoff, like you could, like there's no more like determined set date that everyone kind of unanimously agrees that okay, cool, like let's have our assets done at X date. Now we're looking at how we have every other dev and publisher announce their little thing, and like Ubisoft has their thing still, EA Play has their thing still, Summer Games Fest, the Guerrilla Collective for like those smaller indie games. Like I feel like now we're like seeing that right now, obviously, and plus like I don't think that anyone can guarantee like we'll have a huge announcement of showcases like on this day. Like I don't like if you're working from home and stuff like that and you're not equipped to work from home, I don't think you could make that promise like without dispute, or without like 100 with it going like 100% right, unless you're someone big like an Ubisoft, which like sounds like they're just transferring their E3 plans to just on their own terms. Yeah.
So I guess in terms of the Summer Game Fest and the fact that it's spanning 4 months, it's not really a universal event. It's more of just like a sponsored sort of thing.
Yeah.
When you really boil it down, do you think that an event like today, an event like the Inside Xbox event, do you think the manner of going in with certain expectations is going to help or hurt future Summer Game Fest sponsored events? Like if they announce a stream next week, do you think expectations are going to be even higher of like, are you going to show something that we all want that's new? Or do you think that the steam has been taken out of it so far for you guys personally?
So like, I think it'll kind of act like a V curve. Like I think it's safe to say that okay, so like I think a very high point, was yesterday with like the Pro Skater announcement. Like I think that was a really great, way that it could show the best of what Summer Games Fest can be, right? But I think this is one of those where like I wasn't necessarily let down, but I know the overall consensus is like, yo, we, wanted to see a game, and like these high expectations and everything. But I think that it'll act like I think it'll act a little bit less than like a bell curve and more of like a V, where like once we get like a Batman reveal, let's say hypothetically, like I think that's when it'll just shoot right back to where it was like on Pro Skater. I feel like the crowd that Keighley's talking to and what we talk to overall as a games industry are very quick to like forget something that wasn't the best. You know what I'm saying? Like I just feel like it can easily be alleviated with a banger.
Sure.
Yeah, I agree with Kevin. I think it only goes up from here, knowing what we somewhat know. Tomorrow we get Ghost of Tsushima gameplay. That's going to be some tangible stuff that we can really sink our teeth into. But then we have the rumored PlayStation reveal event, which I'm sure is going to happen either end of May or early June. And then WB stuff, certainly we're going to get Ubisoft stuff, EA stuff, EA Play in June. So we're going to keep getting announcements. We might get some misses along the way just because there's more time throughout the summer than there is in a 1 week span at E3. There will definitely be some misses, but we're going to get some high points, I think, considering some of the stuff that is set to be announced, like PlayStation 5, Batman, stuff like that.
Yeah, I think you guys are right, and I do think that's probably the mindset that a lot of people need to either adjust to or keep in mind moving forward. And it makes sense. You know, if you stretch out a E3 conference across 4 months, you're gonna have those days where you focus on the downtime of a conference. You know, like every conference has a moment that's like you're checking your phone, right? So like if we're dividing it up to a day for each one of those moments, then yeah, there's gonna be obviously some moments that aren't exciting but still mean a lot for the industry. But
Yeah, like the FIFA, Madden, section of EA, That's why I'm like, okay, bathroom break, guys. Like, let's go.
Yeah,
all right, I'll be back.
The Activision block of the PlayStation conference, like the 6 like Call of Duty Destiny hype trailers, like it's like okay, yeah, okay.
I mean, I'll personally stay for cons, but like I feel you, not the most pertinent thing for sure.
Yeah. Well, do we want to rank this one? Do we want to give it a score? Or do we want to rank it with the other 2 Summer Game Fest events so far?
Ooh,
I feel like it might be more fun to rank the Summer Game Fest.
We should keep a rank. I like that idea.
Let's do it.
I like that. Okay, so wait, what was the third one? No, we've only had the Pro Skater and then this one, right?
So we have had
Inside Xbox was sponsored by Summer Game Fest. Like Summer Game Fest was tweeting, "Today's the day." Not the branding, but they were like, "This is part of it."
Do we agree that the Xbox one is at the bottom so far, or is that just me projecting?
I was gonna put this one, but like I still liked this one. But I was gonna put. I mean, I don't know if we're all doing like a unanimous list, maybe our own ones. You know what I'm saying?
I think we should do a unanimous list.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
So I think undisputedly number 1 is Pro Skater.
Facts.
Oh, totally.
Facts. Yeah.
Yep.
Facts.
That's a good place to start.
I went again yesterday. I rewatched it. I listened to Tony's like responses. It's cool seeing how hyped he is for that game. I would honestly, I think I'd put Xbox second just because we got some tangible stuff. You know, even if not all of it was super impressive, like we did get Bright Memory Infinite, which looked crazy, and it's one developer.
Good.
Yeah. I really loved that trailer for Vampire.
I like the Ascent as well. The Ascent looked really, really good. Like I would love to play Ascent. So, yeah.
And tell me what you guys feel about this. The reason I would put this last is because from a presentation standpoint, seemed needlessly long because a lot of the stuff we ended up talking over, and like even the stuff I was listening to, it sounded very similar to the Cerny talk of like, yeah, SSDs are going to make things even better. This is going to be great. It's going to be more efficient for developers. So like from a presentation standpoint, I get like Unreal being so central to a lot of third-party games, but like I feel like there could have been more of for something that's going to be pushing visuals, maybe have a couple backups, like more of those Andy Serkis face scans, you know, like stuff like that to showcase more than just the lighting and the triangle, you know?
Yeah, I think for me, Xbox was more disappointing than this because I think going into that one, expectations were we're going to see third-party games, and when you hear third-party games, you expect the big guns.
Sure.
And it was more sort of AA, smaller AAA games, which most of them didn't really appeal to me, and that's like a subjective thing. So for me, that's sort of on the bottom of things. I don't think it was a bad conference at all. I just think it was fairly disappointing. But what you were saying about this one, Christian, yeah, it's definitely. I think it was much longer than needed. The interview was far longer than the actual stuff that they showed in Engine. But I think for me, this is number 2 for me. I think I'm outvoted by you guys, but I think this just has longer lasting effects than what we saw from Xbox. And I think we'll also see better stuff from Xbox than what we did last week.
I mean, I could really see going either way. Like, I could see either Unreal 5 going at second position and Xbox taking third. I could see either or, but I think like what Christian said too, like the way this was seemingly like not necessarily needed to be that long, even though I understand what they were trying to convey with that interview and like how they just wanted to just do like a deep talk, like, you know, for devs, you know, about the about the effects of Unreal Engine 5, right? But you're right, like it's the same thing of like, you know, a developer is going to be more interested in like the Mark Cerny talk or this Unreal Engine 5 talk than the average player, of games. Even though there's benefits that you can gain as a regular player, like seeing that tech demo and seeing that like Unreal Engine 5 isn't be capable of X, Y, and the third, But yeah, definitely presentation wasn't the best, but
yeah. Jack, I'm with you. Like, it's splitting hairs for me, honestly.
For sure.
But
there's no there's no real clear winner. I feel.
Yeah. I think like one of the better inside Xbox presentations, but like lacking in terms of a next gen thing for me, it just hit harder than like we'll see how this turns out in a couple years.
Yeah, and there's a lot more you can pick and choose from the Xbox One, like to play devil's advocate. Like, I really like. Was it the first one? Bright Memory Infinite.
Bright Memory Infinite. Yeah. Shooter, yeah.
Okay, that looked incredible.
Oh,
that was probably the thing that I took from that. And there was like 10 games.
I think it was like 10 to 12. I think I forget.
Yeah.
Okay. So like, there's a lot to choose from there. So even if you only saw one game that you liked from there, that could be better for you than this was. So I totally understand that perspective.
Well, Talon in the chat brings up what's the next reveal. When is it? Tomorrow we do have Ghost of Tsushima that I believe you two are definitely going to be reacting to. I might have to miss it because of a meeting that I have tomorrow at some point. But Kevin, do you want to give a little pitch about what to expect tomorrow?
Yeah, so that's going to be 18 minutes of I think they have said like exploration of Ghost of Tsushima. Obviously gameplay. Like, I think it's what Ghost of Tsushima has been missing. I feel like 100%. Like this game, of any game that is like coming out in the impending months, I think like this game needs this type of presentation. And I think like it's about to get that tomorrow. And that's just deep dive into like what is it like in between the cutscenes, in between the set pieces, in between the scripted events. Like, what is the actual minutia, of the gameplay, from like a game to game, from a moment to moment basis. Like, what's the in between, And we're finally gonna see that, so I can't wait for that. Yeah, it's gonna be good.
And when and where is that happening?
It's happening on YouTube.com/PlayStation Source is where we'll be reacting to it. I'm scheduling that today, so I'll provide links on Twitter and all that good stuff. But it goes live starting at 1 p.m. Pacific, and I hope I get this right, 4 p.m. Eastern. There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
So,
yes. Time zones.
Odds are I'll be there because I don't think the meeting is going to go beyond 4, but we'll see.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Thank you both for joining. Apologies again for the weird startup today. Kevin clutched it, being able to
gotcha, good stuff.
champion us.
Got it.
He hacked his way in there. We were watching him.
Yeah.
Kind of sweating, but we got it. We're good. We're good.
If you guys want to shout out your socials, anything to plug, feel free to do so.
Who's going to go first?
You first this time, Kev.
Deal. At the KDiaz123, TAGKDIAZ123 on Twitter, as well as PlayStation Source, youtube.com/PlayStation Source, as well as that Twitter at PS Source Vids. Definitely on the lookout. We got, it's Wednesday. We got Last of Us stream tonight. Almost forgot about that. There we go. Last of Us stream series does continue with coinciding Road to Part 2 episodes on Saturday on that given part, as well as definitely Ghost of Tsushima stream tomorrow. A lot of good stuff. So definitely check out that. And Jack, where can people find you?
You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at FascinatedJack.
Very nice. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Chris N. Buckley. And like you're seeing here on JoyClicks, we will have more reactions coming up in the future. Like Kevin said, PlayStation Source is where you want to go for Tsushima reactions tomorrow. I believe there's some event happening next week. I have to double check that, but I think there was something. Regardless, if there is something, we will schedule it again for reactions over here. And that's going to do it overall. Keighley, I still love you. But stop teasing Batman. That's going to do it.
I bet there's going to be one stream where like he just takes off that bat ring for no reason. Like, it's going to be gone, like, one of these streams. Or we're like, where?
Yeah, it just disappears.
Like, yeah.
What do you mean?
It's
like the glass case is still there, but
it's like gonna be turned like on its
jar.
side. It's just an empty glass. Yeah, it's gonna be just missing.
The
Just
arc
not gonna
reactor
explain
is
it.
there next week. Same case, just the arc reactor sitting there.
Nice.
Well, that is going to do it. Thank you to everybody who stopped by in the chat. Appreciate you coming by. And until next time,
It's pizza time.